Hello, I'm Genevieve Griffin, and I'm the president of Small Steps Go Places and the creator of the Option Play tools. When we choose to do something new that involves living or working in an unfamiliar place, we need to set steps so that we can transition successfully to that new place. Successfully means that we need to know about the new place so that when we do things, we get expected results. I decided that for college-bound students, I wanted to make a way that they could learn about scenarios that would be happening for them in college. The Option Play tools give college-bound students a context to ask themselves what they need to have or what they need to know before they go to college in a low-risk environment. What you're about to see is a group of college-bound seniors using the Option Play tools. By watching, you'll find out how to use Option Play.
Yeah.
You'll be reading this how to play little instructions.
Cool.
Be concise and clear.
Hi, I'm Francesca.
Hi, I'm Omen.
Nice to meet
How to play. Choose the first reader who puts the scenario card pile face down where everyone can reach it, deals 10 answer cards to each player, including him or herself, and begins the game by reading the top scenario card aloud to the group. Players silently choose what they think is their best answer card for the scenario and slide it face down to the reader. The reader chooses the card he or she feels is best. The group discusses. If the group supports the reader's choice, the owner of that answer card gets to keep the scenario card. If not, the turn is over. Put all used answer cards and unrewarded scenario cards into a discard pile. The player on the reader's right is the next reader. Repeat. The round is over when everyone has been the reader. Collect, shuffle, and deal all answer cards for the next round. Players keep their scenario cards until the end of the game. The game is over after 3 rounds. The player with the most scenario cards is the winner. Let's get started. Okay, cool. Scenario cards. Oh, the plague is going around campus and you seem to have caught it. Although you have made it to many of your classes, you need to stay in tonight to rest. Suddenly, you get a text from a good friend inviting you to a party. You're sick, but you have FOMO, fear of missing out. What do you do?
Okay. Decide whatever you want the response. Shuffle them.
Okay, the plague is going around campus. You've made it to most of your classes, but you're staying in tonight to rest. You get a text from his friend saying that you should go to a party, and you're sick, but you don't want to miss out. What do you do? One person says, journal about it. Another person says, do nothing. Another person says, meditate. Last person says, withdraw. So I think, This is an interesting. I'm going to interpret withdraw as opt out of the party, and because of that, I would choose this as the best choice, because I think journaling about your fear of missing out, even though you're sick, is not going to help you in the short term. In the what am I going to do right now? Do nothing. That's a bit hard to understand. I don't think I'd go with that. I don't want to, I feel like it has the implication of just ignoring your friend flat out. Meditate. Meditate is interesting. I think that it's better for situations where you're trying to de-stress. And I guess like being sick but you want to go to a party might be a bit stressful, but not the kind of stress that I'm thinking about. So that's why I choose withdraw. What are your guys' thoughts?
I had a lot of cards that were like, go hang out with your friends, but seeing that they probably all have the plague, I didn't want to pick that. So I thought journaling was a constructive way to spend your Friday night. So I picked journal about it. But I also agree that that probably would not be the most constructive choice.
Oh, I chose do nothing because I think it has the same implication as withdraw. Sort of, you don't go to the party. And if your friend is telling you to go to a party when you're sick, I don't know if you should really, you're probably sleeping, so you might not do nothing.
That's fair.
So I had picked meditate, but that was mostly for lack of a better card. I actually kind of agree that withdraw would make the most sense in the situation. If I had a card that would imply just not going to the party and resting, that would have been what I would have picked.
Nice. So now,
Yeah, I chose withdraw because some of my cards had like, oh, call your family, go home. I was like, no. I used withdraw with the implication that you would just not go to the party at all.
yeah. All right. So does anybody like flat out just don't think withdraw should be the card at all?
No, I agree.
All right. And Naomi gets the point.
First point.
Thank you.
Okay, next scenario card, guys. Scenario 23. In high school, all of the teachers knew you. Here, your professors often teach in auditoriums and need microphones to give their lectures. None of them know your name, and each is surrounded by students after the lectures. What do you do? All right, guys. Okay, I'm bad at shuffling. Okay, so we have talk it out. Just get used to it. It's college. Set up a meeting. Sit and listen. Okay. I think talk it out would be okay with the scenario. I'm interpreting it as maybe talking it out with your professor or something like, hey, can we set up a meeting? But that's the same thing as this card. So yes, just get used to it. It's college. Personally, I don't think it would be a good idea. I feel like just get used to it would be like, do nothing. Like, just go with the flow. I don't think that'll be the best idea here, but we'll see. Set up a meeting. I think that'll be a nice idea. Set up like office hours with your professor would be smart. Sit and listen. I don't understand. I think sit and listen would just be like, I don't know, just sitting there and doing nothing. Relatively. I personally think set up a meeting would be the best option. But what do you guys think?
I disagree with you.
Okay.
I think that just get used to it is a pretty solid card. So I chose it. Gonna come out and say it. I think that just get used to it. It's college means this is something that's going to happen regardless of like the state you're in. And I'm not saying that it's I didn't interpret it as a give up on trying to forge a relationship with your teacher. I think it's a card that says, hey, you're gonna have to get used to this specifically happening. What happens next is up to the individual. And so that's why I chose just get used to it. It's college.
I think that that's actually my least favorite card.
Oh, okay.
I think you should never really get used to anything because if you have to get used to it, that means you're not satisfied with the situation. And so in this case, even if the professor doesn't know your name and is surrounded by other students, whether it's like, I chose sit and listen, and I don't think that was a good idea, but it was the closest I had to like making contact with the professor. If you can find a way to kind of forge your own way of your own path to meeting your professor and getting to know your teachers, I think that's a really important part of like my education, and that's how like I have found my teachers useful in high school, so it's not something I'd want to give up when I go to college.
I chose Talk It Out, and I sort of interpret it as not just talking to your professor, but just talking to anyone in general that could help you out. And sort of, it could have been like your classmates, just anyone that's like has more information that can help you out in general.
So I'm going to defend my card, which is set up a meeting. I actually hear what you're saying with just get used to it, but at the same time, I think, especially since I would be assuming this is around like the first experiences with large lectures, that setting up a meeting just to sort of touch base with your professor is a good way to settle in and eventually get used to it, because you're right, it's probably not going to be something that's going to just change after the first few times. But I just think it's a good way to sort of ease into it and get used to it in the long run.
Yeah, I agree with Dakota. I think it would be smart to set up a meeting with your professor.
I concede.
But I don't know, we're kind of at different levels, so what do you guys think would be the best card?
I think we really don't need just get used to it.
Yeah.
I would have to still agree with set up a meeting.
Yeah,
I think
that's
that's still my favorite.
To set up a meeting. Who
Yeah.
had it again?
Dakota.
Right? Yes. Okay, so you get the scenario card. Oh, right.
You asked for a single on the housing form, but ended up in a double. You have very clear boundaries. However, your roommate has a bunch of friends who just come plowing into the room, often unannounced. Those friends just left, and now you can't find your expensive pair of warm gloves. What do you do? Great. So, what do? Your warm gloves are missing. Cancel or quit. Call your RA. Do what you need to do as quietly as possible. Wild card. So who's this at?
Oh.
It's mine. So I put down a wild card because I think, like, I first was gonna choose something about like reaching out to my RA, but I haven't even asked the roommate yet. So first I would nicely confront the roommate and say, my gloves are missing. Can you like send out a group chat to whoever was over once I've like checked for everything to make sure that I really don't have them? And then if it was still a problem, then I would probably get in touch with my RA and say, I'm having a lot of problems like connecting with this roommate. Can we talk make a plan on how we can invite friends over better?
Okay, so well, based off of that, I think that is a really good like way to go about it. This one, I just don't really see how it applies, to be quite honest. Cancel or quit, yeah. So that one's definitely out. But no, it has to be. My choice is Francesco's choice.
I'm just gonna butt in here and say my card was cancel or quit. And I think that what I meant by that card, for lack of better cards, I meant to say I believe it means leave. It means leave your roommate. Because quite frankly, if you've set your boundaries already and they opt out of respecting them, then the best option is to just leave your roommate altogether. I have a friend that's in college right now. He's a freshman. He like has this friend who's like really like mean. And she just sort of she's pretty like sour towards him. She stole his calculator once. She like took it off of his bed and replaced it with her own, which is the same version, but it was like crusty and old. And so this was sort of like that situation. And he confronted her about it, and she was really bitter about it, and she did not want to return the calculator. Like it seemed like she was fully intent on just holding on to it. And so I think that if you have a friend or a roommate who's not going to respect the boundaries that you set, you just need to leave them. Just get a new roommate altogether.
Okay.
I think calling your RAs just just escalating it immediately is the best thing, because like I don't think if I don't think your friend could really do much if their friends took it. I don't know if just like if they ask their friends are not gonna say, yeah, I stole that.
Yeah, sure, but like
So like calling your RA, just make sure that the big like you already start and try to get it back, because like leaving also doesn't mean you get your calculator back or whatever it was. The gloves. Yeah, it was gloves. I stuck to your calculator example.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, I mean, 100% I see what you're saying, but I think like in this case, at least how I see it, it's like there's sort of a list of things to do. It's like first you gotta get your expensive gloves back because they're your expensive gloves, but then go about the whole roommate situation. And so I feel like Francesca's card really goes back to like first dealing with the gloves, and then later on maybe you can like cancel or quit or call your RA, but like first you gotta get the gloves.
Well, yeah. For my card, I said the last one, do what you need to do as quietly as possible. I feel like I wouldn't want to confront my roommate just yet. Like say like, hey, did you take my gloves or stuff? Or like, did one of your friends take it? I probably would just go about trying to look for them again and see like if I actually lost them. And if not, then I think I would just try to figure out on my own who was in the room, maybe look for them or something. I don't know. Look for them and, hey, did you see these pair of gloves? But yeah, I don't think I would use confrontation first.
I stand by what I say. Listen, if your roommate's friends stole your gloves, that wouldn't have happened in the first place if they had respected your boundaries and didn't bring their friends unannounced all the time.
Yeah, but now your gloves are missing, so what are you gonna do about it now? If your roommate doesn't like you now either, so they're not gonna help you find your gloves.
Yeah, but that's their fault.
So now you're missing gloves.
Sometimes you have to live and let live, and live your life. And
if it's not that big of a deal, then you don't need to leave your room.
gloves are just material.
What do you guys think when it comes? Let's go around.
Okay, so I think my card is the best one. I think my method for handling the situation with my stolen expensive gloves would be the best one. So
Wild card was nice. Call your RA, escalating that situation, that's cool too, but quite frankly, my card, cancel or quit. Leave your roommate behind. Leave their nasty ways behind, because you gotta live your life. I choose mine.
I'm gonna have to stick with my wild card. I think because it was a wild card, I got to tailor my answer to be the best answer. And I think the most important thing is kind of starting small and checking your room first, and then confronting your roommate, and then getting your roommate to confront their friends, and then calling your RA so the situation doesn't get out of hand because of something you decided to do.
Actually, I just think that the cancel or quit, you don't get back your gloves, so I don't think it's really like the best option. Do everything quietly. Again, I feel like that's just sneaky and no one's gonna like you after. And the wild card, I don't think it escalates it quickly enough, so I think my card would get you back your gloves, which is like what you really wanted in the question. So I'd go with mine.
So we couldn't come to a consensus. It was a draw all 4 ways, so no one wins this card.
Jim. Hi, my name is Musab. I'm a senior in high school, and I'll be attending Columbia University this fall. When I came into option play, I was optimistic but unsure of what I'd be playing. I was forced to think of scenarios that I wouldn't otherwise put thought into prior to actually being in college. And so it was great exposure to something that I wouldn't otherwise be thinking of right now. And it's made me think about scenarios like, what if I don't like the situation that I'm in with my roommate? Or what am I supposed to do if my teacher is unavailable at all times, even though I've had really good relationships with teachers in high school?
I'm Dakota. I'm currently working through the college application process, and today I played option play for the first time. I was a little curious at first because other than knowing that it was similar to Cards Against Humanity, I really didn't have any other idea what it would be like. But I really liked it because with the different prompts, I kind of got to see how you could approach them from different points of view, and that maybe the way I would have picked is different from one of the other people I was playing with, but it could still be equally as effective.
Hi, I'm Elmer. I'm a current 12th grader and I'm just currently finishing the college application. Coming into this game, I heard it from my guidance counselor and she sort of told me that it was very similar to like a lot of card games where it was a lot of like variability, and sort of seeing that today I saw that there was a lot of choices that you could make and a lot of interpretation that could be made within just one card. So when I was playing the game, I saw a lot of people coming to different conclusions on the same card, and sort of that's what I liked about the game. Sort of that you could see it from different angles and sort of understand different perspectives, even though sort of like the one outcome or one like solution.
Hi, so I'm Naomi and I'm currently a senior in high school and I will be attending Franklin and Marshall College this fall. And what I liked about this game was that there were so many different scenarios that we got to look at, and it made me think about all of the different options that I have for college, and it helped me develop more of an open mindset so that I can know what type of scenarios I will encounter later in life and how I can manage those scenarios.
Hi, I'm Francesca. I'm currently a senior in high school and I'm still enduring the college application process and waiting to hear back from some of my schools. My favorite thing about this game was that as a senior it's kind of really scary because my transition to college next year, I know that it's coming, but I don't really know what that entails, and so being able to play this game with people my own age has kind of shed light on the different experiences that I'll have and that my friends will have, and how everyone will kind of have different experiences. So yeah, I really enjoyed the game.